If not now, then then, huh? Remember those Venn diagrams back in the day? Or maybe you still use them today. If you do, or if you don't, stick around for today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me. I found a really good example of card 38. Do you remember card 38? It's you are what you hate. Well, I found a really good example of a person who had that really kind of emotional reaction to something that they were really actually both interested in, expert at, and it was like core to their existence, especially their intellectual existence and their life. And that was John Venn. And as you might realize from his last name, John Venn is the person who developed the Venn diagram. I mentioned that at the beginning of the episode. The Venn diagram is where you have, like circles that, the title card shows an example. It's where there are circles and they overlap in certain areas where each circle represents a set of things, and where those sets share elements, those are in the interlapping parts. So often there'll be a section in the middle where that's basically all of the circles overlapping, and that means that those elements that are in the center, that are shared by all of the sets, are shared by all the sets. So that's how it works. And John Venn was in the U.S. we'd say college. I think you'd say university in the United Kingdom. He was a student of Institution of Higher Education, one of the famous ones in the United Kingdom. And I only said that because I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Cambridge. Anyway, so he was in the math. In the U.S. we'd say he was like a math major at Cambridge. They call it tripos there, but let's not talk about that. Nonetheless, he hated it so much. Here's where the you are what you hate comes in. He hated it so much that he dropped out of it and threw away like all of the books, or sold them, or got rid of them. He hated it. And when you realize that he hated it not because he hated math. I mean, he revolutionized in a certain way the idea of how to visually diagram sets, which in logic and in probability and so forth. And so it's like, he was like a math superstar, but the way that it was being done in the mathematics tripos at Cambridge was just a total anathema to his way of understanding it. And when you have a revolutionary and visionary understanding of something, the way things are done, you tend to hate them. And that is why you are what you hate is such a good concept in the Life's Potluck Buffet world. Because when you're thinking about our life and our work and what we do and how we do it, when we have that kind of emotion that John Venn had when he threw out his books, I imagine him throwing them out the window in his room. When you have that kind of visceral reaction to something, look into why you had that reaction, because it's probably something that you care about a lot. And it's probably something that you have an idea about that could change the way we do things. So keep that in mind. So today, in honor of John Venn, we've already talked about card 38 in honor of John Venn. But in honor of John Venn, I'm going to draw 3 cards, and we're going to see how they overlap for Life's Potluck Buffet. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 casual shuffles. And then I'm going to do one grand, great shuffle, formal shuffle. All right, and then I'll choose card number 1 by seeing what's sticking out of the deck here. Oh, here's one. Okay. Oh, it's another wild card. Okay, so it's the wild card about taglines. Here's Life's Potluck Buffet tagline. Life's Potluck Buffet, it's about what you bring to it. All right. So think of a tagline. So that'll be card 1. And we'll see how that overlaps with the other 2 cards that we draw. All right. All right, I'm shuffling. All right, here's card number 2. Card number 2, the future is just the present with more flying. All right, that's card number 2. Okay. Now here's card number 3. All right. Okay, here's card 3. Card 3 is Passions Are for Hobbies, and that's one of the most popular episodes. And I notice that when I talk about passions are for hobbies, I'm talking about things that you do for yourself. That's different from the John Venn compulsion to do the Venn diagrams, to change the world of logic and math and probability and all of that. That's not what I think of when I talk about passions here. When I talk about passions for hobbies, I'm talking about things that you do for yourself, things that you are passionate about for yourself, not things that you're compelled to do and you have a lot of energy to do and need to do. That's different. When you're driven to do something, that's not what I mean here by passions when I talk about passions are for hobbies. Okay, so let's see. Oh, well, first of all, these are all 3 different suits. One is the magenta noodles, one is the blue dumpling, and one is the lemon dots. So we have 3, so there's no overlap there in terms of the suits. In terms of the numbers, 2 of them overlap because one of the cards is 28, that's Passions Are for Hobbies, and the other one's 23, so the 2s overlap. And the third card is a wild card, so it doesn't overlap at all in terms of the numbers. It is outside of that set completely, and no overlap there. And in terms of content, what do we have here? Can you believe it? There's not one word that is shared among these 3 cards. So there's no central part of our Venn diagram. Oh, wait, there are 3 words. It's Life's Potluck Buffet. Okay, well, that's the thing these 3 cards share. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.